We are live. We are waiting for people to join in on our session. So we will just wait for that. It'll just take a couple of minutes. Hello everyone who have joined in. If you can hear me, अगर आपको मेरी आवाज़ आई है, so please do let me know in the comment section so that I may begin to all our viewers. Okay. Okay. Hi, Simon. Thank you. So today's event is very special. It also marks 30th November, which is the end of November. We have a special event today. It is a book launch for the book Fragrance of Thari Folk Songs. It is authored by Mr. Noor Ahmed Janji, who has written books in the past, and he has first-hand experience on Thari folk songs and the culture of Thar. We have our panelists backstage, so I will introduce them one by one. But before I introduce them, the topic for today's session is particularly set on Thari folk songs, a kaleidoscope of Thari society. Joining us will be Mr. Noor himself, Mr. Mir Mansoor, Mr. Shahab Usto, Dr. Saiduddin, Dr. Sadia Mahmood, and Dr. Shabina Faraz. I will introduce them one by one and I'll bring them to the fore. Starting off with the author himself, which is Mr. Noor Ahmed Janji. Mr. Noor Ahmed Janji has authored, translated, and edited 32 books. Of all those books, they were based on the topics of literature and language, based specifically on Sindhi and English language. And he has done remarkable work on Sindhi poetry as well. This book particularly deals with the village that he is from, which is in Thar. He is a critic for a lot of folklore and folk tales. And without further ado, I would like to call in Mr. Noor Ahmed Janji, who I'll bring to the stream. Next up, we have Mr. Mir Mansoor. Mr. Mir Mansoor is a young writer and a postgraduate from NUML. He's a really good short story writer. He's a reader himself. He's a literature enthusiast. So he's also the one controlling the back end of this entire program too. I would like to call in Mr. Mir Mansoor. We have next Advocate Shahab Usto. He's a senior advocate and an intellectual. He deals with a lot of subjects regarding sin, regarding different forms of economic and social articles and dealings. He writes for Dawn as well. We have Mr. Shahab Usta with us. I would then now introduce Ms. Shabina Faraz. Ms. Shabina Faraz is a media professional. She is also a researcher. She also writes for Dawn, and her particular area of research deals with cultural and environmental issues. We have Ms. Shabina Faraz with us, and we have Ms. Sadia, who will be joining us shortly. Ms. Sadia is a researcher. She's a historian. She's also engaged in teaching history right now currently. Her topics of interest are around minorities, around research, and around castes. So she also has a particular interest in the subject of Thai. And then we have, lastly, we have Dr. Saiduddin. He's an educationist, a research scholar, and currently he serves as the chairman of Secondary Board Karachi. He has a vast experience of visiting in Thar and dealing with that, with the aspects of society that dive in Thar right now currently. So we have him. He will be joining us shortly as well. So without further ado, the topic for today's session, as Tuba Nabil asks, the topic for today's session is a kaleidoscope of Thari society. It deals with the book launch that we are having right now in Tuba. And the book launch is for Fragrance of Thari Folk Songs, authored by Mr. Noor Ahmed Janji. Before we begin, I know that I was approached by Mansoor Sahab for this book launch, and I know he has a particular interest in literature. तो मंसूर साहब मैं शुरू भी आपसे ही करूँगी. If you can share
Hmm.
an introduction or a brief about the book, that would be wonderful. So, on to you, Mr. Mansoor Saab.
Thank you, Shamala, for blessed me with beautiful compliments. This is great honor. And
Voice is not audible. Mansoor, start.
am I not audible?
Wait. Mr. Mansoor, you are audible. Mr. Noor, he is audible. Uh, Abhi to. It might be an internet problem. That's fine.
आ रही है अभी आवाज?
Mr. Noor, can you hear him?
Am I audible?
No, I guess his screen is stuck. Mr. Mansoor, you can go on, and we will have Mr. Noor joining us shortly.
So thank you for blessing me with beautiful compliments. And Sir Noor Jani Saab, I congratulate him by publishing or by writing two books. Who made a tradition since last 5 years to celebrate this day by writing two books. This is great contribution in the field of literature, history, and culture. Being a student of literature, I will talk about the perspective of linguistics. So, before talking about linguistic aspect of this book, I want to share insights on folk songs. So, first question strikes in our mind that what is the purpose of these folk songs? So, folk songs uh, basically we how people behave and how they celebrate their inner feelings, how they express their inner feelings through heart-touching melodies. So all we can do with the folk songs. So in rural areas, it is celebrated or they can share their inner feelings by singing folk songs. But in urban areas, it is not culture. तो एक इनमें एक लाइन है लाइन को कोट किया गया है कि फोक सॉन्ग्स जब एक कलेक्टिवली ग्रुप में वो सिंग करते हैं तो अभी मुझे उधर एक याद आई चीज के वर्ड्सवर्थ जब सॉलिटरी रीपर लिखते हैं तो उसको वो समझ तो नहीं आती उस लड़की की क्योंकि ही वाज अनअवेयर अबाउट द फोक सॉन्ग्स इफ ही वुड बी तो वो फोक सॉन्ग उसको मेंशन करता सॉलिटरी रीपर में बट ही कांट तो उसकी बहुत खूबसूरत लाइन्स हैं वो कहता है कि आई लिसन मोशनलेस एंड स्टिल द म्यूजिक इन माय हार्ट आई बोर लॉन्ग आफ्टर इट वाज हैड नो मोर सो फोक सॉन्ग का ये थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड है कि इट इज अ ट्रू रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन फीलिंग्स इनर फीलिंग्स and only rural people have their culture still 30 people sing these songs and recall their past mostly past haunt and past memories and past events haunt people, but 30 people enjoy while recalling these folk songs, while singing these songs. तो ये एक ओवरऑल पर्सपेक्टिव था in the background of folk songs. Then we have linguistic aspect. एक उसमें 82 पेज पे है हमरचो फोक सॉन्ग उसका नाम ही है हमरचो वो उसके 5 पार्ट्स हैं कि उसमें एक रिफ्रेन का आता है फर्स्ट जो कहना चाह रहा था कि रिफ्रेन है रिफ्रेन एक रिपीटेटिव स्टेंजा है लास्ट में हर एक उसमें फिर 5 दिए गए हैं कि अला हमरचो रे हमरचो जो वेलो रे हमरचो रे अल्लाह हमरचो रे हमरचो तो these things are repetitive these words are repeated again and again and then we have rhythm and rhymes due to this repetition. Then we have meter of the song consists three types as Mijazi Hamarcho imagery. then common tradition Hamarcho, then Hamarcho for specific events. So when I come across this article or this folk song, one line strikes me. Sir Noor Ahmad Jani Saab writes that the fragrance is a sprout. The fragrance is a sprout out of soil as they get rainy torrents. तो ये मुझे लाइन देख के मुझे एलियट की याद आई। टीएस एलियट ने एक बहुत खूबसूरत लाइन कही कि the crops that you have planted last year has it begun to sprout। तो मैं ये लाइन डेडिकेट करना चाहूँगा to 30 peoples कि they are not planted crops but they plant grains of gold। So this is all about linguistic aspect and 30 people। Thank you, Shumaila।
Thank you so much, Mansoor Sahab, for gathering all the points together. आपकी introduction से we get a really nice idea of what the book is written about. और आपने एक बहुत interesting point raise किया कि where everyone celebrates songs mostly with sadness, mostly with the emotion of sadness. Thari music, or Thari folk song is basically very happy and enlightening in that element. Next up, without further ado, like I introduced Miss Sadia. Miss Sadia is now here with us. Thank you, Miss Sadia, for joining in. Miss Sadia, I would ultimately like you to give a brief background about your research and about the book and your perceptions of the book as well. On to you, Miss Sadia. Miss Sadia, you're muted for now.
Thank you very much, Myla, and thank you very much, T2F, for organizing this. And happy birthday, Sainur Ahmad Janji, and many happy returns of the day. And you have given us such a wonderful book on third oral traditions. It's simply a treat to read. The amount of folk songs that the author has gathered in one single volume is very valuable addition to the literature of South Asia. People who are interested in South Asian studies, in Sindh studies, or Tharparkar studies, they don't need to now go from one village to another village. They can just buy this book and get access to 30 folk songs. I would like to focus more on the book, and I have selected two discussion on two folk songs that Sainur Ahmad Janji has included in this volume. The first one is Badlio, and the other one is so the song of Cloudlet, and the other one is the song of the monsoon. So because we live in South Asia, we understand the importance of rain, which is an integral part of written tradition as well as oral tradition of all different kinds in South Asia. So whether it's a Sufi poetry or folk songs where human beings are expressing their emotions to their loved ones, whether it's a love of a husband, of a wife to husband, or of a sister to brother. The rain and the clouds that generate that rain, they are very important. And if you have been Tharparkar, those of you who would certainly understand the importance of rain and water for the people who live in Thar and who wait for the rain all year long, or for the monsoons to come and irrigate their lands. Whatever cultivation they do in Thar, that happens in the Savan or Savak, as some of the people would refer to the monsoons. So, when your entire life is organized around waiting for rains to come and irrigate the land and provide ample water to feed the vegetation, one may understand the importance of these 230 folk songs that Professor Noor Ahmad Janji has included in his volume. Other than the relationships, the the complex social relationships. So, for example, the relationship of daughter-in-law with her mother-in-law, and a lot of people who have been to Tharparkar or have observed, the kind of relationship that can be, they can resonate with that. So these kind of relationships, the relationship of sister to brother and brother to sister, and then husband to wife and wife to husband, and they're all they're sort of common themes in other South Asian folk songs as well. So we can say that these the themes that are the themes of these 30 folk songs, they might seem very local at the onset. We might say that they are coming from a particular region because they're in Thatki. But if you are an avid student of South Asian literature, then you would know that this happens, especially the celebration of coming of monsoon and the coming of clouds and the coming of rain. It is celebrated all across different regions in South Asia. And it has been used in various ways, and in fact has, in Sufi literature especially, has become a metaphor of cultivating your heart. So the hearts which are barren, which are like desert, the hearts which do not understand the message of love, then the blessings of God that happen in the shape of rain, so that's, the rain is a metaphor, which is very beautifully, we see that these metaphors are being used, and especially the occasion of rain, or the rainy season is a season when people meet. So if you happen to be in Tharparkar during the rainy season, or when it's raining, you would see huge festivities going on in all villages. People go to ponds to swim in the whatever water reservoirs become available because of natural rain to people. And water is a scarcity in Tharparkar. If you live in Tharparkar for a couple of weeks, you will understand the importance of water, the importance of each and every drop of water for someone who is from Thar, and especially for women, who would spend some time, traveling to wells and collecting these waters. So in that context, where life is so hard, water is so difficult to get, the celebration of rain and of monsoon is very heartening. The way Thari people, it speaks about Thari people, the things they celebrate, things which are very important in their lives. So that we see in this book, and you will find the variations or the versions of these such songs in other Pakistani languages or other South Asian languages. Something that other than landscape and the sweet and sour relationships that take place or that exist between a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law. Something that Professor Noor Ahmad Janji has discussed in these two poems is the idea of homeland and the importance of homeland for people, and he explains that how traditionally the idea of homeland used to be very local. It used to be limited to a specific locality within specific people who belong to a certain town or city, or, for example, village. The idea of nationalism, which is alien to South Asia and was, got imported to South Asia via colonial channels, was unique to the lands that we live in today. But the idea of Des or Watan that we find in so many South Asian languages, the regional languages that are spoken in Pakistan or in India. So the idea of homeland and the love for homeland, and how Professor Noor Ahmad Janji talks about the social hierarchy of that still exists in Tharparkar in one way or the other. But traditionally, Tharparkar was part of Rajputana, and the feudal Rajput castes, specifically the Soda castes, they were sort of the political, I would say, they were sort of the leaders or powerful people in this region. So even when the rain comes, or when the rain does not come, the Ranas don't leave their homeland, their cities, their villages. They stay with the local people. The idea is to honor the homeland, and the idea is to stay in that land of scarcity. Tharparkar is still not, we don't consider it as one of the most developed regions of Pakistan. It still lacks infrastructure. It still lacks lots of health facilities, for example, education facilities. But despite all that, the Rana, that powerful figure who can actually leave, who can migrate, does not leave it. The sense that Professor Noor Ahmad Janji has given us is that they choose to stay with their people. So I would congratulate Professor Noor Ahmad Janji for giving us such a valuable book, and with the interpretation and commentary on the folk songs that actually are very valuable for someone who are study Tharparkar, who want to understand the complex societal and political and economic systems of Tharparkar. So one has to read this book very, very carefully and understand that what these folk songs, what kind of codes, social codes, social and cultural codes do these songs, folk songs, they contain for us. And obviously, there will come a time when these songs will indicate to past that is no more there, because the social fabric of our society is changing so fast, that we don't know that who will be singing these songs. But that is why this book is so important, that we have it preserved with us, and this heritage, this cultural heritage, will not be lost. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that wonderful explanation of the book. It dealt with a lot of cultural and also environmental issues, which brings us to our next speaker, who is Ms. Shabina Faraz, who deals with such issues as well and who talks about these issues. Ms. Shabina, if you would like to share a few words on the book itself and on the
जी
literature.
बहुत शुक्रिया, थैंक यू शुमाइला। सबसे पहले तो मैं नूर अहमद साहब को उनकी जन्मदिन पे मुबारकबाद पेश करती हूँ। और जब उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि हर साल वो अपनी सालगिरह को इस खूबसूरती से सेलिब्रेट करते हैं कि उस पे बुक लॉन्च करते हैं, तो कितना वंडरफुल आइडिया है। और जाहिर है कि हम सब तो किताबें नहीं लिख सकते, लेकिन मैं ये कहती हूँ कि हम सब अपने अगले साल की रेजोल्यूशन कम से कम ये बना लें कि अपनी सालगिरहों पे एक-एक किताब पढ़ लें, कोई नई किताब। तो हमें लगेगा कि नूर अहमद साहब के ट्रेडिशन को फॉलो कर रहे हैं, तो आपको बहुत मुबारक हो आपकी सालगिरह। मेरा चूँकि ताल्लुक मीडिया से है, मैं आजकल बीबीसी और थर्ड पोल के लिए लिखती हूँ और ज़्यादातर मेरा एनवायरनमेंट पे फ़ोकस है, कल्चर पे और फिर लिटरेचर वगैरह पे। तो पाकिस्तान की पूरी धरती मैंने देखी है और अपनी सिंध धरती और थरपारकर, ये सब मैंने विज़िट किया है, बहुत चीज़ों को करीब से देखा है। और जब हम सिंध धरती का ज़िक्र करते हैं, तो हम फिर इसकी क़दामत की बात करते हैं कि इसकी जो तारीख़ है, इसकी जो हिस्ट्री है और उसकी दरियाए सिंध की बात करते हैं कि वहाँ जब ये तहज़ीब परवान चढ़ी। लेकिन जब भी हम सिंधी धरती की बात करते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि जो सिंध का जो दिल है, वो थरपारकर है। वो दुनिया के जब थरपारकर, अगर आप उसको सहरा तस्वुर करते हैं, तो दुनिया में जितने सहरा हैं, उनका तस्वुर आपके ज़हन में ये आता है कि बिल्कुल एक ऐसा खाली इलाका, जहाँ सिर्फ़ रेत उड़ती होगी, कोई इंसान नहीं होगा, कोई जानवर नहीं होगा। लेकिन जब हम थर में जाते हैं, तो हमें हर चीज़ मुख्तलिफ़ नज़र आती है। एक खूबसूरत खित्ता ज़मीन आपका मुंतज़िर होता है, जहाँ के लोग बहुत मेहरबान हैं, जहाँ के ट्रेडिशन बहुत पावरफुल हैं, जहाँ फ्लोरा है, फ़ौना है, इकोसिस्टम वहाँ का बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग है। बारिशें वहाँ कम होती हैं, लेकिन वहाँ बारिशें जब होती हैं, तो वो किस कदर खूबसूरत हो जाता है खित्ता। और जब ये किताब मैं देख रही थी नूर मोहम्मद साहब की, तो अभी जैसे सादिया ने भी बात की, तो हमें जो थर के गीत मिलते हैं, उनमें बारिश बहुत नज़र आती है। ज़ाहिर है बारिश उन लोगों की ज़िंदगी का एक अहम हिस्सा है कि जब बारिश होती है, तो फिर उनकी ज़िंदगी तब्दील होती है और खुशहाली आती है। तो इन गीतों में बारिश भी आपको नज़र आती है। इसके साथ-साथ औरत आपको नज़र आती है एक स्ट्रॉन्ग कैरेक्टर के तौर पे। जब पानी की कमी होती है और पानी कम होता है थरपारकर में, तो हमने देखा है थरपारकर में मैं बहुत गई हूँ। मैं कह सकती हूँ कि मैंने उसका हर हिस्सा देखा है। तो हमने देखा है कि कितनी दूर से फिर पानी उठा के लाना हमारे सकाफ़त में औरत की ज़िम्मेदारी है, औरत को ये ज़िम्मेदारी उठानी पड़ती है। तो पानी से औरत का बहुत गहरा रिश्ता है, एनवायरनमेंट से, नेचर रिसोर्सेज़ से। और जब आप सॉन्ग्स की बात करते हैं, फ़ोक सॉन्ग्स की बात करते हैं, कल्चर की बात करते हैं, तो आप अगर एक सॉन्ग को भी उठा के देख लें जो फ़ोक होगा, किसी भी ज़बान का हो, सिंधी का हो, पंजाबी का हो, जिस किसी का भी हो, तो वो पूरा एक आईना होता है, वो सॉन्ग खुद एक किताब होती है पूरी। एक जो है वो एक ऐसी दस्तावेज़ होती है जिसमें पूरा गुज़रा हुआ ज़माना समेटा हुआ होता है, कि उस दौर में के लोग कैसे रहते थे, ख़वातीन कैसे होती थी, कैसे सेलिब्रेट किया जाता था, कैसे आप अपनी खुशियों को सेलिब्रेट करते हैं या अपने गम को किस तरह याद करते हैं। वो एक सॉन्ग नहीं होता है, वो पूरा एक कल्चर होता है, वो पूरा एक ज़माना होता है और नूर मोहम्मद साहब ने वो पूरा ज़माना इस एक किताब में समेट दिया है। ये एक बहुत बड़ी बात है। मेरी चूँकि मदर टंग सिंधी नहीं है, लेकिन उसके बावजूद मैं अपने आप को खुशनसीब समझती हूँ कि मैं सिंधी समझ लेती हूँ, बोल लेती हूँ। मुझे सिंधी फ़ोक सॉन्ग बहुत पसंद हैं। ये जो सुने हुए गाने हैं, माई भागी को कौन नहीं जानता है, खड़ी नीम के नीचे, वो थर का कितना पावरफुल तस्वुर पेश करती हैं, मोर तो टिले राना, उसमें पूरी सकाफ़त आ जाती है कि लोग खुशियों को किस तरह मनाते हैं, किस तरह दुआएँ देते हैं। तो ये इस तरह की चीज़ें हमें करना चाहिए, जो ज़माने गुज़र रहे होते हैं, वक़्त उन्हें धुंधला रहा होता है, तो इन चीज़ों को समेट के रखने की बहुत ज़रूरत होती है और किताबें उसके लिए एक बहुत अच्छा जो है मीडियम है। तो मैं नूर मोहम्मद साहब को बहुत मुबारक पेश करती हूँ इस किताब की पब्लिशिंग पे। थैंक यू।
Can you hear me? Okay.
अब आ रही है आपकी आवाज़।
Ji, thank you so much for that and for rounding it all off. I love how this is actually, coming out pretty nicely, the entire discussion. हम इसको अब follow up लेते हैं with last comments by Mr. Shahab Usto. Mr. Shahab Usto, if you would like to say a few words on the book as well and round up the discussion before we invite the speaker to uh, discuss the book. Mr. Shahab Usto, you are muted. Okay, that seems to be a problem. Hello? Okay, I unmuted you, it's fine. Yes, I can hear you.
So, first of all, I would like to congratulate him on both counts. First, that he wrote a wonderful book, And again, it's his birthday. So happy birthday, Janji sir. And I pray that you may live longer than ever, so that you can produce more books on every birthday. And now coming to the book, before I say something about the book, I would really, first of all, point out that Janji Saab, as I was going through the book and the reference particularly mentioned with regard to his earlier contributions, I was pretty, subdued. I was rather daunted by the number of publications and the variety of subjects that he has covered so far. It is amazing that a quiet and I must say uh, uh, an unsung hero, I would say, because he has been doing a lot of work on different subjects, very varied and yet very relevant, ranging from linguistics and folk literature and Latif studies and Ayaz studies and Kabir studies and classical sin and so on and so forth. So when I was going through the book, I was really not so surprised as to the range and the depth and the approach that he has come up with, because when I saw his earlier publications, I could see that he has got a lot of skill and understanding and the depth that is required for a good writer. Secondly, Janji Saab has written this book about Tharparkar, uh, and I think he is, in addition to his qualification and attributes that I've already mentioned, Janji Saab basically comes from Tharparkar. He is a Thari himself, and naturally he has carried all along all the pains and all the sufferings and all the longings and all the uh, pathos, those he's talking about in his book, which the Tharis suffer, and every other person or every other community that live on a desert. So Jani Saab has an added sort of advantage that he could write something about his own self and about the reflection of life that he very vividly presents in the book. So Jani Saab the Thari, and like every other Thari, he has, I must say, spared the death of his birthplace, and wonderfully so. Uh, Now I would like to say a few words about the book, though it requires really a longer sitting, and it could not be, in fact, I would not be doing justice in a few words. But so much as I can understand of the book and this little time that I have, I would say that this book has actually reminded us. It has, in fact, woken us up from a deep and sort of a slumber that we have collectively adopted when it comes to uh, you know talking about or thinking about our culture, our music, our art, our history. And I would not, in fact, blame ourselves, because, as you know, that right after the creation or the separation or the division of the subcontinent and Pakistan coming into being, right early on in the mid 50s, this country was sort of thrust into an artificial and very dangerous political system, which is identified as one unit system. And by one unit, a very dangerous scheme was improvised by which all the varied sub-nationalities that represented a variety of cultures and their ethnic identities were submerged into a oneness which even the improviser of that idea could not define. They thought we being just Muslims would be enough. So right from mid 50s, we saw that the state or the policy did not allow the cultural and the varied uh, ethnic and socio-cultural identities to assert or to continue their historical existence. So culture has been suppressed, art has been suppressed, and as a result, we have forgotten that we had a very, very glorious, uh, uh, you know, repertoire of our past. which contains so many beautiful cultures and so many beautiful traditions and folk, uh, 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 oral traditions and songs and performing arts. And only it, I think it is because of this, because of the people like Janji Saab, who have been quietly, committed to the, you know, labor of love, and they have kept alive this hugely important uh, cultural era, especially with regard to Thar. And secondly, the effulgence of this communication revolution. Now, at least we can share and we can immediately be the part of public domain and the global square, as they call it. So Janji Saab, I would say, is a, I would say, the torch bearer. And when I was going through the book, I was really very, thrilled when I saw that he has done a wonderful job, that he has divided the book not only in terms of educating us about different, uh, you know, different genres of music and their origins and how they are performed and what is their context, what is their relevance, and why people still continue to hold this oral tradition to their hearts. And secondly, the other thing, besides this very elaborate and detailed account of different types of songs, folk songs, the other thing that he has done, and so valuably so, that he has actually not only tried to give us the introduction about the song, but he has also tried to link it with the different historical eras. So he has also helped us travel through the history, the culture, the art, and why still people love this oral tradition, this folk song. I think Thar is in a way is a story of tragedy, and as they say, what makes a desert beautiful is that somewhere it hides a well. So water is the ultimate, you know, uh, uh, what you call longing or the ultimate yearning of every Thari. So whether it is in the form of rainfall or it is in the form of a well or some historically streaming down rivers, they are no more there. So water and and the and the longing to meet the beloved. These two themes are intertwined. Water also represents more like a beloved for a Thari because the parched earth, the parched lips, the dry the dry eyes, and and the longing to see the rainfall, longing to see the monsoon coming back, and then also longing to see the Vanjaro, the person, her husband, who's gone away to earn something, to bring something for the family, for her, to sustain life, their livelihood. So these two different but intertwined themes are, I think, the dominant uh, forms of these folk songs, which are, which always we have uh, found to be very relevant, not only now, but as other speaker just mentioned, these songs were also sung by Mai Bhagi about 50 years ago, and even much better, much earlier. So I think Jani Saab has done a wonderful job. He deserves kudos. He deserves a lot of our appreciation. And I would, in fact, request him that he should further build on that because he has given a sort of a caricature of this folk music, and also borrowed from some other established writers about the culture of Thar Parkar. But I would still request him that he should now, if he has time, and of course, I'm sure that he will consider my request because he comes from Thar, that he should also then focus on each one of this genre of folk music because he has given about more than 20, I think, different types of songs which are in the contents. And if I start reading them, it would take quite a while. So from Badliyo to Bhayo to Chumaso to Varsaro to Siramin Tej and so many others. Now, each one of these folk song genre had its particular history, particular cultural context. Some songs are about celebrations, celebrations on receiving rains or harvest. Some songs are about the longing to meet the uh, the husband who's away or the lover who's away. Some songs are about some past heroic deeds. So you see, every song has a particular uh, context, whether it is cultural, artistic, musical, or for that matter, historical. And I think it would be a great service on the part of Janji Saab if we could further build on that. And I really heartily congratulate him. He has done a wonderful job. Thank you very much, Janji Saab.
Shumaila, turn on your mic.
I'm so sorry. The stream keeps on removing people the moment they keep quiet. But thank you so much, Mr. Shahab, for that wonderful round as well. Now that we've gathered all the speakers and their information and their perceptions on the book, I would like to invite the author himself, uh, Mr. Noor. First of all, happy birthday! And it is a very wonderful ambition to actually launch a book on your birth date as well. Mr. Noor, if you would like to share your views, अगर आप बताना चाहेंगे about what your book, how did you get the inspiration and how did you start writing such a wonderfully categorized book?
Thank you, speakers. I'm very much grateful to the T2F and all of the speakers, Saint Shahab, Usto Saab, Madam Shabina, Sadia, Mansoor, and others who are listening us, join us. Firstly, I would like to say about a few words about this whole journey of, are you listening me? This whole journey of writing. So I have started since last 5 years celebrating my birthday with 2 books, by launching 2 books. So this year I am launching this book, Fragrance of 3 folk songs, and other one is Sindhi book on globalization. So as I have been, all of the speakers know me and told that I belong to Tharparkar and I have lived here. I am living still here. I love her and I have been immersed in these rural cultures, and I have tried to communicate the things which are untouched in our literature, and I would like to communicate and transfer and transform all of those cultural and literature gems of these neglected lands to the people who less know these things. So I have tried to focus on folk songs because since my early childhood, I listened these folk songs during different seasons. If you would see this book, and I'm as this is book launch, so I'm reflecting this book, and this book is based on a few portions. Firstly, it introduced Thar, and then it introduced folk literature, then folk songs. And some 20 folk songs are of different type of these things. So if you would focus on all human endeavor, it contains 2 things, a tangible heritage and intangible heritage. Tangible heritage faded away with the passage of time, but intangible heritage lives there, and it is a survival in a form of these folk songs, folk tales, folk art, and other forms of fine art too. So these folk songs reflect as a just kaleidoscope of Thari society. And when we sing them, we listen them singing, people are singing, these all folk songs are emerged from environment of Thar. And Thari environment is very much diversified, though it has no such plenty of water, but Thar is very much rich culturally. Thar is very much rich in patriotism. Thar is very much rich in most of such colors and contrast of nature. Because in both the conditions, either we are in drought situation or there is a monsoon season, Thar attracts people, and it is beauty of Thar, and that beauty enables us Thari people to be resilient and to be simple even. And so we don't leave our land in any condition. If there's a drought, there's a famine, and people live by these songs. They live their lives by these songs, and most of these songs are composed by women, but they are anonymous. They were very great ladies who put their sweat and blood and fragrance of their soul in these songs, so they seem very much melodious when anyone listens. Hamarcho or Khadi Neem ke niche or Vaskaro or Vanjaro, Ranaliyo, and so many songs, they create an impact on his soul. I must quote an example of Sheikh Haya, the leading poet of Sindh. He visited Thar in 60s, and when he stayed at the middle of Mithi and Islam Kot at village Londhar, he saw some farmers were singing Hamarcho. And Hamarcho is the song for collective labor, collective work. People gather in their work, in their fields, और वहां मिलके वो गाते हैं, गाते जाते हैं और वो अपना काम भी करते जाते हैं. तो जब वो गाते हैं और काम करते हैं तो जो समा बनता है वो उसमें आपको माजी की झलक भी नजर आएगी, उसमें आपको हाल भी नजर आएगा, उसमें आपको मुस्तकबिल की खुशहाली भी नजर आएगी. तो उसमें एक सदियों का दर्द और सदियों का सुरूर और सदियों की इंस्पायरेशन एस्पायरेशन आपको नजर आएगी. हमारे जो सुनने का सॉन्ग है, देखने का सॉन्ग है, इट कैन नॉट बी टोल्ड बाय ओनली जस्ट राइटिंग इन ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट. सो ही लिसनड हमरचो देयर एंड ही कंपोज्ड न्यू हमरचो, हमरचे जो वेलोडे. तो इस तरह बहुत से सॉन्ग्स हैं. एक थरी फोक सॉन्ग डोरो है, वो जब लड़की पेरेंट्स के घर को छोड़ के जाती है, उस टाइम लड़कियां उसकी सहेलियां गाती हैं. ऐसा समा बनता है तो वो लड़की तो धाड़े मार के रोती है, लेकिन जो नरम दिल वो हस्बैंड्स होते हैं वो भी, मर्द हजरात भी वहां रोने लगते हैं. एक पूरा समा बन जाता है. लोग इस तरह जीते हैं, इस तरह वो अपनी मोहब्बतें, अपनी जिंदगी की जो तकालीफ हैं, जहां उनको पानी नहीं मिलता, कम मिलता है, उन सारी चीजों को वो कंपनसेट करते हैं. जहां they are being deprived of the colors, they try to contrast these things with their inspiration aspirations. या जैसे लड़कियों के गीत हैं, श्रावण टी जिसमें गीत है, it's purely song of young girls and recently married young girls or women. तो उसमें वो आती हैं, वो फास्टिंग भी करती हैं. पूरा एक थर का जो पूरा कल्चरल कोड है, it is based on environment friendly. Thar is a pro nature land still. So उसमें लोग ख्याल करते हैं, हर चीज का सेलिब्रेट करते हैं. जैसे उनकी सीजन शुरू होती है उससे वो शुरू होते हैं तक आके उनकी प्रोडक्शन जब आती है रीपिंग सीजन तक, उनके सारे सॉन्ग्स हैं. और वो सॉन्ग्स उसमें वो गाते हैं, सुनाते हैं, आपस में दिखाते हैं. इस तरह थर एक बड़ा एक कैलिडोस्कोप है। और इन 3 फोक सॉन्ग्स में आप देखेंगी तो दे have multi-dimensional phenomenon of culture and art. Firstly, they reflect linguistic perspective, then they reflect historical perspective, and then psychosocial perspective. इवन जो रिलेशनशिप्स हैं उन पे वो भी आ जाते हैं, ज्योग्राफी को बयान उसमें किया जाता है, ह्यूमन बिहेवियर को भी बयान किया जाता है। इस तरह बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो उसमें आती हैं। इस तरह ये इनके 5 एस्पेक्ट जो मेन एस्पेक्ट हैं फोक सॉन्ग्स के वो इसमें आ जाते हैं। ये इंटेंजिबल कल्चरल हेरिटेज का बहुत मजबूत हिस्सा है। मैं शुक्रगुजार हूँ सारे स्पीकर्स का, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे अंदाज में इन चीज़ों को सराहा, बात की। इसमें जो चीज़ें भी रही हैं उस पे मैं आगे लिखूंगा। एक एक सॉन्ग है जिस पे किताब हो सकती है। जैसे इसमें चिरमी है, अगर उसको आप फोकस करेंगे तो इट इज जस्ट कंपैरिजन एंड कंट्रास्ट बिटवीन हैव्स एंड हैव नॉट्स। चिरमी एक बीज है, नेचुरल प्लांट है उसका, और सामने उसका मुकाबला होता है गोल्ड से। और गोल्ड कहता है कि तेरे मुंह में जो काले रंग का निशान है, इसकी वजह से तुम बदसूरत हो और तुम मेरे सामने रखते हैं लोग, इसलिए तुम हुई हो, कीमती हुई हो। लेकिन वो चिरमी कहती है कि मैं नेचर की चीज हूँ, मेरा जो है दरख्त वो हरा भरा है, मैं तेरे सामने आई हूँ इसलिए मेरा वैल्यू कम हुआ है, क्योंकि मैं तेरे सामने तुली हूँ, मेरा एक वैल्यू हुआ है, नेचर का कोई वैल्यू नहीं है। इस तरह बहुत सी चीजें हैं, एक एक लफ्ज है उसको देखा जा सकता है। इट कैन बी रिसर्च एंड इट ओपन्स ऑल द avenues फॉर रिसर्च ऑफ ऑल द यंग रिसर्चर्स। और इससे पहले थोड़ी सी रिसर्च हुई है, डॉक्टर नबीश बलोच ने की है, उसने अपने डॉक्टर जेठो लालवानी है, डॉक्टर नारायण है, कुछ लोगों ने की है, डॉक्टर कमाल हैं इधर के सिंध के, उन्होंने भी की है। लेकिन 3 फोक सॉन्ग्स स्टिल दे आर वेरी मच पोटेंशियल। और कहीं भी आप दुनिया में चले जाएं तो फोक हेरिटेज में हमारा हिस्सा सबसे बढ़ के है। हजारों में गीत हैं जो अभी तक अनटच्ड हैं, उनके ऊपर लिखने की जरूरत है। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच। और सब लोगों ने मुझे सुना, और ये एक मुख्तसर सा इसका ब्रीफ है, इसमें आता है, ये रिसर्च ओरिएंटेड बुक है, इसको कोई भी पढ़ सकता है, बहुत एकेडमिक है, यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ाई जा सकती है, कहीं भी इसको अगर देंगे तो ये काम की होगी और इसमें से नई राहें निकलेगी।
Thank you so much for that wonderful input and concluding the discussion bit of it. I'm unmuting all of the speakers up. I guess सब unmute हो चुके हैं। जिस तरह कि आपने राउंड ऑफ किया कि ये बुक बहुत इंफॉर्मेटिव है, एंड नॉट जस्ट दैट, इस बुक के अंदर जो मेंशन हुआ है एक इंटैंजिबल कल्चरल हेरिटेज को रीडिफाइन करना और उसको प्रिजर्व करना, I guess this book serves that purpose as well, because it is such a textbook version of that anyone who reads through it just got very much informed after reading through this book. I would like to open the floor for cross questioning. अगर आप लोगों ने एक दूसरे से कुछ सवालात करने हैं, or any suggestions you might have, so you have the floor for that. Meanwhile, अगर किसी को questions पूछने हैं from the audience, you can do so in the comment section. So we will leave to that. We will give everyone a few minutes to post their questions, and then we'll get on with it. हमारे पास एक सवाल बीच में आया था मंसूर साहब और नूर साहब, वो सवाल था कि ये बुक कहाँ अवेलेबल है, तो उसके ज़रा अगर आप पब्लिकेशन डिटेल्स के बारे में मेंशन कर दें।
ये इट हैज बीन पब्लिश्ड बाय कमल पब्लिकेशन हैदराबाद,
All publication is there.
or it can be had from me or Mansoor. Anyone will message us, we will send him the book. We have written the book for reading, so it's welcome.
All right.
Number
So-
courier service is available all over the country. अगर फोन नंबर चाहिए तो वो मैं बता देता हूँ अभी।
फ़ोन नंबर हम लोग जो है इसके लिंक के एंड में मेंशन कर लेंगे।
Alright. और
Miss Sheema,
आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ हिज बुक तो उसकी लॉन्च करें सब एक ट्रेडिशनल वे।
अगर है सबके पास किताब तो
मेरे पास PDF है तो
तो इधर स्क्रीनशॉट अभी हम ले सकते हैं ना बाद में।
जी मैं आपको इस चीज़ का स्क्रीनशॉट भी दे दूंगी।
नहीं थैंक यू
हाँ बिल्कुल
जी हमारे पास एक सवाल और आया है और ऑल्सो
थैंक
अस्सलाम वालेकुम मिस शीमा करमानी, कैसी हैं आप? आपको ये डिटेल्स मैं शेयर कर दूंगी और वॉइस का जहाँ तक इशू है दैट्स प्रॉब्ली द इंटरनेट। मूविंग ऑन, वी हैव अ क्वेश्चन, व्हाट इज द फ्यूचर ऑफ फोक सॉन्ग इन कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड, स्पेसिफिकली इन थर्ड? तो अगर इसका आप जवाब देना चाहें मिस्टर न्यू।
yes I think corporate world capitalize everything to market it and for profit. These songs are for humanity and purely non-capitalist production of human mind. And intellectually, people have contributed, and they contributed without even mentioning their names. So they were the heroes who have been not sung by the people in the history writers, historians, as Mansoor has suggested, that Wordsworth was not even going, even getting the meaning of those lines of the sung by Solitary Reaper. तो ये वो Solitary Reaper के songs हैं. If corporate world can represent or reproduce these songs, they must honor the values, they must honor all of inspirations and aspirations. So this is not marketability, and I think everything must not be marketed. And we are living in a world, sorry to say, that everything we are doing for profit, and this profiteering has generated so many types of inhuman and unnatural things.
I guess that was very rightly said. Heritage is not something
I
that can
think
be sold.
one thing I would like to add, that these songs must be documented in even audiovisual form too, in their real perspective, as they may be preserved and saved.
Okay. Yes, yes.
इसके लिए मैं एक लाइन कह सकती हूँ। हर चीज हमारे कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर के लिए नहीं होती है, कुछ चीजें हमारी रूह के लिए होती हैं, दिल के लिए होती हैं, जो उसको छूती हैं और हमारी खुशी के लिए होती हैं। वो एक्चुअली हमें जीने का सामान मुहैया करती हैं। वैसे तो हम मार्केट सोसाइटीज में रहते हैं कि हर वो चीज वैल्यू रखती है जिसे हम खरीद सकते हैं, बेच सकते हैं, लेकिन वो चीजें हैं जो हमें जीने की उमंग देती हैं, जज्बा देती हैं, एनर्जी देती हैं। थैंक यू।
That is very wonderfully put. Like mentioned, corporate communities and everything else, songs or heritage is not to be sold. It's not a corporate entity, and it's not something to capitalize on. Miss शीमा करमानी का एक सवाल है, वो I guess Mr. Noor आप ही से है कि do you know कि if these songs are danced to or only sung?
Yes, some of them are dance songs. As there is a special song in Thar called Rasura, and they are in the language of Kuli tribe. They are songs and dance songs, and even Tej and Hamarcho and Dandiyo and such songs. Some songs are not only songs, but they are dance songs.
Would anyone else like to add to any of the questions? You can do so right now. All right. Seeing that there are only smiles and no more comments, if everyone would like to.
शुमाइला, स्माइल्स इसलिए हैं कि ये इतना एक वसी मौजू है जिस पे बात करने के लिए एक बहुत तजर्बे की ज़रूरत है, और मेरे ख्याल से इस बारे में जिस अथॉरिटी से प्रोफेसर नूर अहमद जंजी बात कर सकते हैं, मैं उस काबिल नहीं हूँ कि मैं बात कर सकूँ। तो मैं चूँकि अपनी कमीनी को तस्लीम करती हूँ, तो मैं सिर्फ ये कह सकती हूँ कि ये काम बहुत अहमियत का हामिल है। और जिस तरह अभी शीमा कुरबानी साहिबा ने डांस के बारे में बात किया, तो ये जो पूरा एक घर में रहने के जो तरीके हैं और वहाँ के लोग जिस तरह से सेलिब्रेट करते हैं डिफरेंट त्योहारों पर, और उनका कोली कम्युनिटी की बात की प्रोफेसर नूर अहमद जंजू ने, और उनके जो डांसेस हैं कानूरों वगैरह पे आप देखें जो फेस्टिवल्स हैं, तीज की बात इस किताब में बहुत ज़्यादा है। तीज के फेस्टिवल्स पे जिस तरह से जो लेना देना होता है, मिलना मिलाना होता है, तो अब ये चीज़ें जो हैं ये वहाँ के लोगों ने डिसाइड करना है कि कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर की बात हुई, राइट? तो अब जो थर है वो उसका जो एक स्टेटस है वो बड़ा एक इंटरेस्टिंग स्टेटस है पाकिस्तान की हिस्ट्री में, ठीक है? और वो एक ऐसा नगीना है पाकिस्तान में जहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ों को 1947 की पार्टीशन के बाद अ, इधर उजाड़ा नहीं डला। बहुत कम 1947 और 1971 की जो जंगें हुई, तो इस घर के लोगों ने, और जिस तरह से प्रोफेसर नूर अहमद जंजू भी अपने हर किताब में, हर पोस्ट में ज़िक्र करते हैं, दिस इज़ माय लेबर ऑफ लव। तो ये लव और पीस की जो अहमियत है थरपारकर में, और उसको उस इकोलॉजी को कायम रखने में, और हमारे जो आर्टिस्ट जिस तरह शीमा किरमानी साहिबा हैं और हमारे जो फनकार हैं, वो उन्होंने कितना एंगेज किया है वहाँ के फोक ट्रेडिशन के साथ, और कितना करने की ज़रूरत है। हम थर के बारे में बहुत कम जानते हैं। जो पाकिस्तान में डिस्कोर्स है वो थर में, या तो हम कहत कहत के बारे में सुनते हैं, या हम मेल न्यूट्रिशन बच्चों के बारे में सुनते हैं, लेकिन हमने कभी जाकर उसकी गहराई में ये जानने की कोशिश नहीं की कि उनके पीछे क्या अवामिल हैं, क्या प्रोसेसेस हैं जो कि एक्चुअली सदियों पे मुहित हैं। वहाँ के जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, वहाँ के जो दुख हैं, ठीक है, और वहाँ के लोगों की आप फयाज़ी और उनका आप दिल देखें, इतना बड़ा है कि इंसान तो इंसान, इवन जानवरों के लिए भी वो जो है वो इंडाउमेंट्स करते हैं कि जहाँ से जानवर आके पानी पी सकें। तो एक ऐसी इन्वायरमेंट में जहाँ दूसरे हालात में इंसान बहुत सेल्फिश होता है कि अपने लिए हम आसानियाँ पैदा करें, लेकिन मैं एक थर के गांव में गई जिसका नाम अभी मुझे याद नहीं है, और वहाँ की जो लीडर थी वो एक राजपूत खातून थी जो कि बेवा थी, उनके हस्बैंड की डेथ हो चुकी थी, और वो अपने पूरे गांव को चला रही थी, उसके सिस्टम को, हर कोई उनकी बात, उनको रिस्पेक्ट कर रहा था। तो वो मुझे एक कुएं पे ले गई जो उनके जो हस्बैंड हैं वो वक्फ कर गए थे इंसानों के लिए। तो और साथ ही उसमें कुएं में नीचे जमीन पर एक जगह थी पानी पीने की, और जब मैंने उनसे पूछा कि ये क्या है, और मैं ढाटकी जुबान जो हूँ वो नहीं बोल सकती, तो हम बिल्कुल इशारों में बात कर रहे थे, तो उन्होंने मुझे जो भी हमारी टूटी फूटी एक कम्युनिकेशन थी उसमें ये समझाया कि ये इंसानों के लिए है, और ये जगह जो है ये जानवरों के पानी पीने के लिए है, जो मेरे डिसीज्ड हस्बैंड के उनके इसाले, जिस तरह हम मुसलमानों में कॉन्सेप्ट है सवाब के लिए, तो इस तरह जो हिंदू कम्युनिटीज हैं थरपारकर की, उनका जो कल्चर है, उनकी जो देना है इंसानों के लिए, ठीक है, जिस तरह जो फेस्टिवल्स हैं उस पे जाके जेलों में कैदियों को खाना खिलाया जाता है, हॉस्पिटल्स में ले जाके जो लोग दूसरे गांव वगैरह से सफर करके मिट्टी तक आते हैं, उनके लिए खाना प्रोवाइड किया जाता है। तो ये जो सिस्टम्स हैं वहाँ के, जो पूरी एक इकोलॉजी है जिसमें इंसान, जानवर, औरतें, चरिंद परिंद सब शामिल हैं, ठीक है। मोर का हमें इतना वो एक फिगर जो है मोर की वो मिलती है, तो मोर जो है, और जो इवन एक मैं गांव में गई तो वहां उन्होंने मुझे ख्वातीन ने पौधे लगे हुए दिखाए। थर एक सहरा में एक दरख्त को पाल पोस के बड़ा करना कितना एक बड़ा काम हो सकता है, जिसको हम फॉर ग्रांटेड लेंगे यहाँ के लोग, जहाँ पे पानी बहुत ज्यादा मिकदार में है, और उसको बकरियों वगैरह से बचाने के लिए जो प्रोटेक्शन उसके इर्द गिर्द की हुई थी दरख्त के लिए। या एक और मैं गांव में गई जहाँ पे जो खातूने खाना थी वो किचन में सबको खाना दे रही थी, तो उन्होंने मुझे कहा जूते उतार के किचन में तुम अंदर आओ, क्योंकि किचन एक साफ जगह है। ठीक है, तो अब हम ये जो हमारा जो एक दिमागों में है कि दूर दराज के इलाके और ये वो, सो एक प्लेथोरा ऑफ डिफरेंट कम्युनिटीज है जो कि बहुत अंडर डिस्कवर्ड, मतलब जो लोग आप कह सकते हैं कि बाज लोग बिल्कुल छुप के अपनी जिंदगी एक साइड पे गुमनामी की जिंदगी गुजार रहे हैं, उनके ओरल ट्रेडिशंस क्या है। और कल भी जब मेरी शुमाइला और मीर मंसूर से बात हो रही थी कि बहुत सारे नज़में तो मैंने सुनी लोगों से वहां पर अपने काम के दौरान, तो जो थर की हिस्ट्री के बारे में, और नॉट इवन थर की हिस्ट्री बल्कि जो लार्जर सिंध की हिस्ट्री है, साउथ एशियन जो हिस्ट्री है, थर एक ऐसा इलाका है जो कि सिर्फ सिंध का हिस्सा नहीं है, ये राजस्थान से कनेक्टेड है, गुजरात से कनेक्टेड है, कच्छ भुज से इसका कनेक्शन जाता है। तो ये जो एक सिविलाइजेशन के जो रास्ते थे, जो तजारत के जो रास्ते यहाँ से गुजर के और फिर दूसरी साइड पे ईरान तक जाते थे, तो ये एक ऐसी जगह है जो कि कोई मतलब एक बहुत सेक्लूडेड सी जगह नहीं है। ये शायद सेक्लूडेड सी हो गई हो कुछ अभी 50-60 सालों में, लेकिन उससे पहले इट वाज अ प्लेस ऑफ हैपनिंग। यहाँ पर जो आना जाना था और सरहद जो थी वो खुली हुई थी। तो मतलब क्या चेंजेस आई हैं सरहद के बंद हो जाने से, ठीक है, और कैसे जो लोग हैं वो अपने लाइफस्टाइल को उन्होंने जारी रखा है। ये बहुत एक हमारे लिए एक ऐसी, हम जिस सोसाइटी में रहते हैं, हम अपने आप को बाज़ात बहुत वो खुद से कंडेम भी करते हैं कि हम अच्छी सोसाइटी नहीं है, लेकिन ये कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं जहां पर थरी सोसाइटी इन इटसेल्फ मुबारकबाद की मुस्तहिक है कि उन्होंने ये जो पीस और लव का जो मैसेज है, कोएग्जिस्टेंस का जो मैसेज है, उसको हाथ से नहीं जाने दिया। थैंक यू सो मच।
मैं कुछ कह सकती हूँ शुमाइला? शुमाइला, मैं कुछ कह सकती हूँ?
जी
हेलो।
मैम, मिस शबीना, यस, कैन यू
जी,
हियर मी?
सादिया ने बहुत खूबसूरत बातें की, जितनी खूबसूरत वो खुद है उतनी प्यारी उन्होंने बातें की, थर की खूबसूरती बताई। मैं चूंकि एनवायरमेंटल राइटर हूँ, तो मेरा भी जाना आना रहता है, तो इसी को आगे बढ़ाती हूँ। एक इंतहाई खूबसूरत बात कि वहाँ एक संत नैनोराम आश्रम है। तो मैं लिख रही थी इसी पर बीबीसी के लिए, तो मुझे किसी ने बताया कि वहाँ मजहब से बेनियाज होकर सबको खाना खिलाया जाता है, कोई भी वहाँ रह सकता है, और अगर कोई किसी को खाना खिलाना चाहेगा तो डोनेशन के लिए उसको इतना लंबा वेट करना पड़ेगा कि 2024 तक के लिए वहाँ बुक है जितना है। तो ये कितनी अच्छी बात थी कि लोग वहाँ सिवाय इससे बहस नहीं कि वहाँ मुसलमान खा रहा है, ये हिंदू खा रहा है, ये जो भी खा रहा है, लोग इतना डोनेट करते हैं कि अगर आपको डोनेशन देना है, किसी को खाना खिलाना है, तो आपको 4 साल इंतजार करना पड़ता है। अब पाकिस्तान में बदकिस्मती से जब कुछ ऐसी खबरें आ जाती हैं जहाँ मजहबी हम कॉन्फ्लिक्ट देखते हैं, तो एक हर ऐसा रीजन है जहां हमें ये खूबसूरती नजर आती है कि वो मुसलमान जो है वो हिंदुओं के साथ उनके त्यौहार मना रहे हैं, हिंदू रमजान में रोजे रख रहे हैं और इफ्तारियां बांट रहे हैं। वहां आपको हिंदू टेम्पल भी मिलेंगे, जैन मंदिर भी मिलेंगे, मस्जिदें भी मिलेंगी। बल्कि मैं जंजी साहब को रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ कि आप एक किताब ऐसी लिखें जो वहाँ की खवातीन के जो कैरेक्टर्स हैं, शीरोज जो हैं, मैं अपनी पूरी पाकिस्तान की खवातीन को शीरोज कहती हूँ कि जिस रीजन में भी मैं गई हूँ, क्लाइमेट चेंज के बदतरीन असरात उनके ऊपर पड़ रहे हैं, लेकिन उनमें रेजिलिएंट का जज्बा इतना है कि उनके पूरे पूरे घर सैलाबों में गर्क हो जाती हैं, लेकिन वो फिर खड़ी होती हैं, हार्वेस्ट कर रही हैं, बच्चों को पाल रही हैं। और सिंध में और थर में और तमाम सिंध के दीगर जहां पानी की कमी है, मैंने औरतों को देखा है मीलों चलते हैं मटके लेकर, और कहीं कहीं तो चप्पलें भी नहीं होती पाँव में, और बहुत सी जगह हम गए, कोहिस्तान के इलाकों में हमने ये मंजर देखा है। तो ये शीरोज है हमारी, ये खवातीन जो है थर की हैं या और दीगर पसमानदा जो भी इलाके हैं, जहाँ पसमानदा सिर्फ इस सेंस में मैं कह रही हूँ कि ये सहूलतें हम उनको नहीं दे सके, बेसिक हेल्थ की, एजुकेशन की, और ये जो सर्विसेज हैं, पानी है, सारी चीजें। बहुत खूबसूरत रिवायात हैं, जैसे ये थरी सॉन्ग एक जगह इकट्ठे हो गए, अब ये तारीख का हिस्सा है, ये मिटेंगे नहीं कभी भी। इस किताब की सूरत से आने वाले लोग पढ़ते रहेंगे, बच्चे पढ़ते रहेंगे, स्टूडेंट पढ़ते रहेंगे। खैर बदल भी जाएगा तो ये चीज महफूज रहेगी। इसी तरह इन खवातीन की इन शीरोज के किस्से भी आप किसी किताब में कलम बंद करें, ताकि वो भी हम बता सकें कि हमारी खवातीन जो थी कितनी रिजिलेंट थी, और आने वाला वक्त उनको फिर देखेगा। थैंक यू।
Sure.
Thank you, Ms. Shabina. अब seeing the time of the session, हम इसको wrap up करेंगे with final comments. I believe we've received comments. So, Ms. Shahab. Yes.
Shah Mustafa.
Yes, Ms.
देखिए
Shahab.
I think we have been talking in terms of her. Of course, it's a marvel. It's something which is unique. And desert people are by nature cooperative societies. Their their civic and their environmental conditions are such that they have to be coexisting with each other. In the past, they used to quarrel over wells and water and sovereignty over spaces, but now that time is over. But I would also like to emphasize one thing, which is very important. You see, when we talk about culture or music, about past heritage, uh, invariably we romanticize, we glamorize, we glorify, because that's what we are supposed to do when we talk about culture and art. But let's not forget one thing, that when we romanticize a community or a place or even an era, we must not forget that that place is a living place. We are talking about human beings. We are talking about the living communities. We are talking about their rights and liberties. We are talking about their basic needs. We are also talking about the problems that they are facing despite the so-called civilizational milestone that we have achieved so far. I think in Pakistan, Tharis are the most neglected people, most exploited people. They are they are the showpiece for elegies, political elegies, for creating political sympathies and making the opponents targets of their inefficiency and bad governance. But having said that, none of the governments has ever done in real terms anything for the Tharis. Now we have, for the last few years, we have been targeting their resources. We are targeting their coal. Now we have no objection to that, but coal is a very bad energy. It's a pollutant. And above all, it creates a huge ecological problem for the local communities. It is draining out their subsoil water. As during the water commission that I had got installed through the Supreme Court, I had a lot of opportunity to travel and see for myself how the Tharis are coping up with their, oncoming or rather ongoing ecological disasters. Because this coal project is draining away their water, their subsoil water, which is already very, scant, very scarce there. So, in addition to coal, there are other resources. For instance, granite. Now the government has allowed so many companies going there and mine granite, and soon we will see that a beautiful Tharparkar Valley will exist no more because that is all granite. So you see, the problem is that when we talk about culture, art, and music, we should also talk about the real people, the life. And we must not forget that Tharis, though they have beautiful past and the glorious and cherishable history, but they are the real people. They need education, they need health, they need water above all, they need communication, they need to have the same uh, civic and municipal and human uh, services as we have in the cities. We go there, we exploit them, but we give them nothing. And that is the tragedy which is making, which is in the process of being constructed. And I'm sure if we did not take into account this dark side of Tharparkar, soon we will come across another kind of literature which will be very dark literature, which will be, like a slap in our face collectively, because we are not doing anything for them. Poor children are dying only because they don't have health facilities. They don't have, doctors. They don't have proper medical facilities. So this aspect of human misery must not be missed out. We must also,
Thank you.
Janji Saab should not be burdened with writing everything about everything, but one of us, maybe all of us, should also highlight this very important aspect of Tharparkar. For instance, if I tell you, when I visited there along with the Supreme Court judges, I was horrified to see that out of about 1400, 1500 RO plants, there was hardly any RO plant functional. And all those RO plants were receiving billions of rupees in terms of maintenance and other expenses. But the water, which was supposed to be pure and usable, was nowhere. So you see, the problem is that Thar, I have seen that now during the last few years, ever since Thar has come into limelight because of its resources, is also becoming more like a museum where we go, we visit, we see, we uh, appreciate, or we show our sympathy and come back. Thar is not a museum. Thar is a living space where people live. Thar is like any other part of the country. So let's not forget this aspect. When we are talking about the glory, we should also talk. We should also talk about the tragedy, the contemporary tragedy, and which is going to be horrific if we fail to stop it, and sooner the better. Thank you.
Thank you, Shah.
Thank you, Mr. Shah, for the critical remark as well, because one should not be always in fantasies. There is a stark reality of the situation as well. I guess with this book comes a lot of awareness.
May I say a few words?
Yes, you may.
Thank you very much,
Yes, you
all
may.
of the speakers. And as they suggested something, Madam Shabina, on writing on women heroes, I think Tharparkar is richer in this regard also, as these folk songs are composed only, or mostly folk songs are composed by the women. And here there are the towns and villages in the name of women. They were established by them, as the main town Mithi has been established by a local woman, and it is still survived with her name. And there are so many generous women and such things. And culture is not the name of any stationary thing or static thing. It is moving, it is changing, it is emerging, it is refurbishing, and so many aspects of culture has. But I think Tharis, from their society of beach cities, right down the line 3000 years up to the present time, they have survived in every condition, and people have survived with all of odds and ends and difficulties. They survive. They are very much resilient people. They love their land, and they have great qualities. And I think there is a great need of research on anthropological aspects of the society, how they are living, how they have survived, through these difficult conditions. Even they have been facing and addressing the atrocities of nature. So this is the whole story, which has both the aspects, and Thar still survives, and it is land of color, contrast, and culture and civility. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the panelists and their wonderful contributions. As we are nearing the end time, I would like to move favorably upon concluding remarks of each of the panelists. We'll start again with Mr. Mansoor. If you could just say a few words about the book and about the talk in general and about the discussion.
Yes, I will add some comments on the talk of Miss Shabina. She is thankful for introducing new term Shiroz. So she said that there is no introduction or any kind of. तो एक 19th century में शाह शुजा जब सिंध पे हुकूमत करने रूल करने और सख्ती से जुल्म ढापने निकला तो एक खूबसूरत खवातीन थी जिसका नाम था जादुल जतनी। तो उसने कहा कि अगर मेरे शादी करने से शाह शुजा सिंध पे और थर पे ये जुल्म बंद कर देगा तो मैं बिल्कुल राजी हूँ। तो उस पे वो उसका एक लाइन में आपको कोट करता हूँ कि कहती हैं कि छला पूरा पत्नी जीवे जादल जतनी। तो दिस इज द bravery of women we can't forget. Thank you. Your broadcast is wonderful.
Thank you, Mr. Mansoor. Ms. Sadia, if you could just spare the minute on the remarks that you might have, the concluding remarks. You are muted, I suppose.
बहुत शुक्रिया शुमाइला और बहुत शुक्रिया दोस्तों को। और प्रोफेसर नूर अहमद जंजी की जो एक काबिश है घर को स्पेक्ट्रम पे डाला जाए और लाइमलाइट उस पर डाली जाए और वहाँ के जो इश्यूज हैं जिन पे शहाब उस्ताद साहब ने भी बात की, जाहिर है वो एक पाकिस्तानी सिविल सोसाइटी की तवज्जो चाहते हैं और ये जो लिटरेचर है ये सिर्फ एक इंटेलेक्चुअल एक्टिविटी के तौर पर नहीं लेना चाहिए। इसमें इसके जो एग्जिस्टिंग कंडीशंस हैं वो जाहिर है वो हम सब की जिम्मेदारी बनती है एज अ सोसाइटी। लेकिन जो एक काविश है इस सारी चीज़ को एक किताब में इकट्ठा कर हम हमारे तक पहुंचाने की, उसके लिए प्रोफेसर नूर अहमद जंजी मुबारकबाद के मुस्तहिक हैं। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you so much, Miss Sadia. Thank you, Miss Sadia, and thank you, everyone. Mr. Noor, would you like to add a few lines and then we can conclude the session? I know time हमारा ज़्यादा हो गया इस session में, I guess.
I think इन्होंने सारे लोगों ने बहुत बड़ा टाइम दिया है, इनकी बड़ी मेहरबानी है और आपने होस्ट किया है और उसमें काफी चीजें डिस्कस हुई हैं, नई राहें भी खुली हैं। ये तो प्योरली एक लिटरेचर की चीज है, उसमें जो चीजें लिटरेचर में जिस तरह बयान की जाती हैं इस तरह बयान की हुई हैं। और भी सोशल एस्पेक्ट्स भी खुलेंगे, उस पर रिसर्च होगी, सारी चीजें हो जाएंगी। मेरे ख्याल में बहुत वक्त हुआ है। मैं सारे लोगों का शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि उन्होंने टाइम दिया और मेरे बुक को स्टडी किया। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much everyone for joining in. और जिन लोगों ने कमेंट्स पूछे थे इस बुक की अवेलेबिलिटी के, मैं उन सब लोगों को जवाब दे दूंगी in the comment section. And I look forward to reading more of your work, Mr. Noor. And with that, I would like to thank all of the panelists for joining in and for your time. Thank you so much. I will end the broadcast now. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Allah Hafiz.